Hey, this is Ken from Coffee Crafters, and today was the Valenta 3 dress rehearsal day for us. And what we do when we build a new roaster model is we actually have it powder coated, put it together just like we think we're going to want it. And then there are always a few last minute changes, which were on this. Nothing big, just some fit and finish things, spacing out some brackets and whatever. But what I wanted to do, because we put the shell together, we put it together to see if we like the powder coat color, which we loved, and see how all the body parts fit. We've been testing the electrical on the inside of this roaster. We actually tested it with this before we sent it in for powder coat, and everything worked great. So the Valenta 3 obviously is a 3-pound roaster. And one of the things cool about this 3-pound roaster is it's a lot more efficient than the Artisan 3. We could have made it a 4-pound roaster. We actually did make it a 4-pound roaster, and we were doing 5 loads an hour, so which made it 20 pounds an hour. But we can make it a 3-pound roaster, get an extra load per hour, get it to 21 pounds per hour. I was actually roasting 24 pounds an hour on it to a medium roast, but we're going to size it at 21 pounds an hour. And one of the reasons we did that is if you're using the Hermes, which is over on the side, just like the Valenta 15, it gives you a lot more throttle. It gives you a lot more heat management. So we have more heat than we need in most conditions for full loads. So you have that full control with automation all through the roast cycle. Same thing we did with the 15. So that was pretty cool. The other thing we did, you might notice, and you probably saw some of our other little videos we did on lofting the beans, but we exposed most of the side of the roast chamber with high temperature glass, so you can see what's going on in there. Got our light up here going through. The body of this roaster is built out of aircraft aluminum, and we have a really cool heat management system in here. This roaster runs really cool. We're preheating the air going in. We made it a tabletop model, and one of the things, come around here, Bryce, one of the things we did, everything you would access in the roaster to maintain is behind a door, including, we put the loft motor in here, the heat chamber is turned sideways, and then we have a really cool fitting going up there to make the airflow real efficient. It takes barely any air to loft the beans in here, which was one reason why we were able to boost the capacity, because it takes much less air to roast or loft a 3-pound load on this than it does the Artisan 3. On the other side over here, standard dump, we have built a new style of bean cooler. And the cool thing about this, we built an air system, a suction system for this, and we 3D printed this out of high temperature material that we can actually use in our roasting system. And it is way efficient in cooling. We were cooling dark roasts in 70 seconds. It'll cool a medium roast in 60 seconds. So it like flash cools it. And that is with the new ultra quiet 388 CFM blower that comes with the deluxe model. So this goes on the back here. We don't got all the duct fittings on here, and then it hooks up. The other thing on the deluxe model, we've added a cyclone, which mounts to the back of the blower. It's got a chaff drawer in here for emptying the chaff, viewing window like the 15. And yeah, I made a really nice compact unit. You can put the whole roasting system on 32 inches by 42 inch tabletop. That includes the exhaust blower. And if you come around the other side here, Bryce, look in the back. So this isn't wired, our actual wired unit that we're over at UL right now. They're actually building our units for us. But all the electrical components are right here if you have to change anything. And the cool thing about the deluxe model, it takes a 40 amp breaker to run the entire system for the deluxe model. And there's a plug-in on the back here. The deluxe model exhaust blower plugs right into the back of the roaster. The other thing we added on this one is an hour meter for maintenance. So if you're going to change your brushes in your motor at 550 hours, you have a clock telling you how many hours is on your roaster. And that was something people always ask us, how do I know when I get to 550 hours? And we would tell them to just guess. So this will be easier than guessing. You can just look at the runtime clock. Breakers on the back, accessible here. So yeah, the entire thing, all the doors in it are open, so you can access every component. The other cool thing about the roaster, come around the front, we wanted to make the hopper in this roaster really easy to get out for cleaning. So you do have to remove the top panel, take the screws out, the front panel, but the roast chamber itself fits down inside of a boot and buckles down. So you just release 2 buckles, 2 nuts on the front on a part that keeps it from going front and back, and take it out. In fact, this is the one we had in the roaster that we've been testing on. I threw it in the sink with some Cafiza, and it came out nice and clean, just like it was new. That was cool. So yeah, we'll be manufacturing this. One of the things we were doing today is to see if we actually like the color, which we do. So it's going to be metallic gray. And we have 2 pieces on the roaster that are printed material. One of them goes to the bean cooler, and the other one is our little window housing in here. And this is really cool stuff. It prints really nice and fine, and it's high temperature, so the heat's not going to affect it. So yeah, so this roaster is going to come in 2 versions. One is the base model, and the base model is going to be just like buying an Artisan 3E. It's going to include the bean cooler, the roaster body, and the duct fittings to go on a blower that you provide. The base model is going to be priced at $4,800. We're still working on the pricing for the deluxe model, and we're almost ready to go. We'll have it out next week, the pricing for the deluxe model. Last thing we had to do, we had to do all of our labor costs on building the Cyclone over here. That was about it for that. And yeah, we're really, really happy with it. It was a fun project. We learned a lot on this roaster that'll help us with future development, but really making it easy to work on, easy to maintain, easy to roast on. It was fun. If you watch the video, it's mesmerizing to stand in front of it and watch the entire load go round and round in there. And yeah, it turned out as good or better than we had hoped. And so we have about 10 Artisan 3Es left. Those are going to be phased out. These are going to hit the market August 1st. We are on time to actually get that done. We were worried about the electrical going through UL, but I took it over this week. They were happy with it, and so they're already gearing up to do our first run of electrical assemblies, and we will be manufacturing them before the end of the month. So stay tuned. Next week, we will let you know what the final cost is going to be, the price for the deluxe model. We know the cost for the base model is going to be $4,800, which is a good value. So that's it. And everybody have a great 4th of July, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.